ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ।
Dear friends, welcome back to the study of the Mundaka Upanishad, and we have paid a lot of attention to the study of the 24th shloka in serial, and we had also studied to some extent the 25th shloka. We are now in the thick of this discussion where Maharishi Angirasha is trying his very best to give us a vague concept, a nebulous concept of what is that everlasting reality known as Brahman, known as Atman, known by many other words through many other denominations. So let us concentrate on it and try to find out how Vedanta philosophy tries to explain to us in harmony with all other religions. Because Vedanta is the climax of spiritual wisdom. In that climax situation, in that position, a harmony with all religions is a must. There must not be any confrontational attitude because of our limited understanding. So, we have spent a lot of time on shloka number 24, or the second shloka of the first chapter of the second Mundaka. Whatever it may be. What does he say? It gives you an idea how to educate yourself by sharpening and honing and polishing your capacity of understanding. It's a process of self-education which is known as sadhana. That is, I am putting my efforts into it to reach that goal. So we must know what the goal is like. If we do not have a very clear understanding of the goal is like, we will not be able to reach, we will move in circles, like rowing a boat without raising its anchor. So we have now studied in depth, but please allow me to refresh your memory because a week have passed. Probably you need a little refresher. So let me refresh your memory. The first and foremost thing I will highlight is whenever we think of God, whenever we think of the Absolute, the Atman, the Lord God of the universe, somehow or other, we have a spontaneous attitude of looking outwards, up to the skies. Oh, he must be somewhere else, unrelated to me. Why? Because our life is based on moving outward. We are always looking outwards. Ears are hearing the sounds out of me. Eyes are seeing things beyond me. The nose is smelling things outside me. So I am from birth and from several births oriented, looking outwards. Therefore, when we speak of God, we also look up in the skies. God must be somewhere there. That is the first error of understanding. Paranchikhani batrinam swayambhu tasmat para pasyanti nantaratman kasyit dhira pratyagatmanamaishat abritya chakshu amritattamichan. This is from the Upanishad. What does it say? Paranchikhani batrina swayambhu. Swayambhu, the Lord God of the universe, the self-created entity, the Parameshwara, He created us in such a manner and our sense organs in such a manner, it always moves outwards. Paranchi, they move outwards. Their journey is always outward journey. He has created it that way. Therefore, param pasyanti na antaratman. Therefore, we look outwards. We never look inwards. Antaratman na pashyati. We don't look inwards. We look outwards. Kasyit dhira. Some very sober, mature, understanding person, pratyak atmanam aishat, intensely desired to know the answer to this question, who am I? Pratyak atmanam, this indwelling I, who is that I? Some sober, mature, inward-looking person starts his journey within him. Abritya chakshu amritattamichan. He stops the outward movement and he directs all his energy to experience the immortality of his true original nature. So, dears, that is how we are created. To disabuse ourselves from that folly, to correct our mistakes, Maharishi Angirasa says here, remember, it is Dibya Jyotanaban, it is self-effulgence. It does not need any help to know. It is knowledge itself. And knowledge here is equated with effulgence. Where there is effulgence, there is no darkness. Where there is knowledge, there is no ignorance. Divya here means Jyotanaban, effulgence. That effulgence is to be understood as my capacity of awareness. I am constantly aware, I am. That is my true original nature. Amurta, it doesn't have any name, any shape, any form, any qualities. It is absolute, abstract. It is, but not with the adjuncts, the upadhis. And where is it to be found? That is the most important lesson. Purushaha. What is Purushaha according to the meaning applicable and relevant to this state? Puri Shayanat Purusha Purnatvat Va Purusha. He who resides in this body-mind complex, I am aware I am. And where do I find myself? Where do I stay? I stay in this Puri, in this city, in this citadel. I am who resides in this body. And he is not fractured, not parcelled either by time or by space, and it is immutable, changeless. I am. So, don't look skywards to find where God is, what is my true original nature. Look within yourself. What you know as I am is verily to be known as Atman, subjectively, I am, and there is isness everywhere. Wherever your eyes fall, first you are aware of its existence, then it is followed by name, followed by form, followed by qualities, followed by utilitarian value, or followed by human appointed adjuncts, human giving adjuncts, upadhis. Isness comes first. I am comes first. Then I say, I am Sridharananda. I am. How is it known? He is known as Sridharananda. How it should be known? It should be known as Atman Brahman. This darkness of my knowledge, ignorance of my knowledge, is to be removed by your true original nature. You are self-effulgent, Satchit Ananda Swarup. You are Sat Swarup, existence, Chit Swarup, that is awareness, and Ananda Swarup is indescribable, ecstatic, divine bliss. That is what your true original nature. So we have studied this shloka, that it has no name, no form, no mental mutations or modulations, no prana shakti, that is the energy that this body generates, and etc., etc. Therefore, it is absolute, taintless, pure. And it is beyond the concept of Parama Ishvara, who has 6 qualities with him: Jnana, Shakti, Balabirja, Aishwarya, and etc. That is it. Aishwarya, Balabirja, Tejavi. Jnana, Aishwarya, Balabirja, Jnana, Shakti, Balabirja, Aishwarya, Teja. 6 of them. That is what Parameshwara is. He, in its absolute sense, is beyond that. Now again, it goes a bit vague. Let us be very particular, very careful. What are those 4 stages? Maya Adhina, Maya Mukta, Maya Adhisha, Maya Atita. Let us explain, and you'll be absolutely well placed in this concept. So, Aksharat Parata Para does not create a confusion. He is beyond the immutable. He is beyond what is known as absolute in your human concept. He is beyond that. Jato vacho nivardante aprapya manasasaha. It is such a state where your mind and your capacity to describe in words, they fail to reach there, they come back defeated. That is aksharat parataha para. Now let us understand from commonsensical point of view. Maya is a Shakti, is a force, is an energy, cosmic. Where is it? It is in Parameshwara. Who activates it? Who withdraws it? Parameshwara activates it, Parameshwara withdraws it. It is in Parama Ishvara. That is why it is absolute relatively. From that, the whole world has appeared. But there's another stage, Maya Atita, where Maya is totally eliminated, and what remains, because it is because it is beyond the domain of Maya, therefore it is not describable. All that I can say, it is beyond the relative absolute, it is the absolute. Aksharat parataha para. Now let me explain. We are Maya Adhina. That is, we are under the thumb of Maya. We are victims of Maya. We have no freedom from Maya. And what is Maya Shakti, Ajnana Shakti? I think this world is real and I enjoy this world. In the process, this valuable human life goes to waste. It has been going to waste I don't know how many times. I am under the thumb of Maya, under the rule of Maya. A. Where does that Maya come from? From Parama Ishvara. Good. Then I, with my hard work, backbreaking endeavor, with the guidance of my Guru, and ultimately the compassionate blessing of the Divine, he decides, no, I should release this individual from the influence of Maya. So he relieves me of Maya. Relieving means I know Maya is. I see the effect of Maya all around. But I am not a victim of Maya's trickeries. I am beyond that. I live in Maya. I see Maya. I see the activities of Maya all around me. But Maya does not influence me anymore. I am Maya Mukta. I am Jivana Mukta Purusha. The realized souls, as we say, Brahmagya Purusha, Atmagya Purusha. Even Ishtar, the Ishvara Drashta Purusha. Good enough. This is the second stage. Third stage is Avatar Purusha. He has influenced his own Maya to creep his own body, and he conducts himself ordering the Maya how things should happen. Maya Adhisha. He can withdraw it from individuals. He can influence the individuals. He can hibernate it himself as if it doesn't exist. And he can wipe it away totally and go beyond. Maya Atita. That is, Maya does not have a point of beginning, Anadi, but it is Anta Sahita, Santa. That is, it has an end. Brahman, Atman is Anadi, Ananta, Maya is Anadi, Shanta. Shanta means with an end, Anta Sahita. So, Aksharat Paratah Para means there's a fourth state of awareness where you are beyond Maya. Maya has fallen behind. In Samadhi Avastha, especially Nirguna Nirvikalpa Samadhi Avastha, you are in Maya Atita Avastha. Last discourse, I very quickly referred to Sushupti and casually referred to Samadhi. I think during this discussion, this idea has to be very well clarified. What is the distinction between Sushupti and Samadhi? Sushupti ordinarily happens to all of us. All of us, we have Sushupti. We have that experience. What is that experience? The world does not exist at that time. Even I am not aware that I am sleeping without a dream at that time when I am asleep, dreamless sleep. What happens? When I wake up, then the memory of that period comes back to me. And what do I say? Oh, I slept like a log. I knew nothing. The world did not exist for me. When I woke up, it took me some time to orientate myself. Where am I? What is the time? What day is it? And oh my, I still enjoy that memory of that pleasantness of that dreamless sleep. But now, everything has come back to normal. At that time, as far as I am concerned, the world has disappeared for me. But I did not know anything. That means I was totally enveloped with ignorance. The world disappeared in the womb of ignorance. And as soon as I woke up, the world came back to me. So, Sushupti is nothing else but this jiva, this individual, is enveloped with ghor tamaguna, which is ignorance crystallized. There was no disturbance. Therefore, I felt very pleased and pleasant. But I was enveloped in ignorance because waking up, I say, I understood nothing. I experienced nothing. That means ignorance has enveloped me. This is Sushupti Avastha, where Jiva is enveloped by Ajnana Maya and he knows nothing. Only he remembers by way of memory that, oh, I slept well. I look at my watch and say, oh, I went to bed at 3:30 and it is now 6:30. These 3 hours, I don't know where I was. The world was not with me. I was in a different place. But I knew nothing. Kinchit na avedisham. I experienced nothing. That means I was enveloped in tamas, ignorance. Now, by contrast, what is Samadhi? Because you should know, Aksharat Parata Para is a Nirvikalpa Samadhi Avastha. What is Samadhi? People have achieved that state. Having achieved that for the welfare of the many, they describe how it happens. So the description is there, and slowly you pinpoint your mind on that so-called true nature of yours. So-called because you have no experience. It is from hearsay. It is from advice. It is from reading. You have a vague and nebulous idea. I am. The scriptures say, I am Satchidananda Swarupa Atma. I am Nitta, Buddha, Mukta, Suddha, Sabhavavan Atma. The words, the ideas, and I sit slowly, concentrating my mind on those ideas. Sat Sarup, Chit Sarup, Ananda Sarup. Nitya Sarup, Shuddha Sarup, Buddha Sarup, Mukta Sarup, Atma. I concentrate. I concentrate because of my past habits. My concentration is disturbed, removed by an onslaught of other ideas. I keep on trying. I keep on developing a force of habit by my continuous, willful, repetitive effort. A force of habit is generated. That force of habit stands by my side. The force of past habit of not remembering my true original nature is being pushed back, eroded by the new habit that I am creating. Repetitive, willful effort to concentrate on my so-called true original nature. To cut a long story short, a time comes when Parameshwara is pleased by my efforts. He decides, I will withdraw Maya's influence from him. And immediately that Jiva who is making an effort, he merges in that. Brahmakara karita chittavrittir udit. As soon as it forms, you go, oh, I am that. You remember your true original nature. You merge with it. You are then Maya-atit. That stage, Maya-atita stage, is being mentioned here by three words, Aksharat, Parataha, Paraha. It is beyond what you know as Saguna Sakar Savikalpa Ishvara, the creator, the preserver, and the destroyer of this whole cosmos. It is beyond that, absolute. It can be realized, it can be experienced, but it cannot be uttered in words because there are no adjuncts there. Here there is an adjunct, Parama Ishvara, Supreme Being, at whose command the wind blows, the fire burns, the water flows. He is Akshara, absolute, relatively. And absolutely absolute is Nirguna, Nirvikara, Nirvikalpa, Brahma. You can be that. This is the subject matter of this shloka. Going on to the third, which we had also studied. And as I've told you earlier, from the third to the end of this khanda, that is how many shlokas? 10 shlokas. From the third to the 10th, Maharishi Angirasha will teach you what are the attitudinal corrections or what are the new attitudes that you have to build up to totally saturate your personality with the awareness of presence of the divine. To see divine everywhere with wide open eyes. Now let me develop the idea first so that later on the scriptures becomes easy to you. Allow me to develop. Firstly, I can meditate in a corner of my room, isolating myself from this maddening crowd. I meditate, and I do as much as I can without straining my nervous system, without creating a ruination of my system, and I'm dead and gone. Spiritually, I may go insane. Within the capacity, within the limitations, I know how far I can take. I start meditating at home. That is dhyana yoga for you. Dhyana is meditative practice. You can't do it 24/7, all the 24 hours in that single manner, 7 days a week, 4 weeks a month, 52 weeks a year. You can't do that. You are an ordinary human. You want to be one with God, but till that time, the concept of duty has a hold on you. So you have to live in this world, fulfill your worldly duties, because you are an enlightened human being. There is no human being who does not have a sense of duty. So you have to live in this world. So should it be totally contradictory? And the Bible says you cannot serve God and mammon at the same time. You cannot pray to God at the same time and be evil at the same time. It will be a split personality. Whereas you have to integrate your personality, one wholesome whole. So the concept and awareness of the divine has to continue. How could that be possible? See what is possible. Dhyana yoga is a concept parallel to which is karma yoga concept. But that karma yoga of karma kanda, we have outgrown that. It only promises heaven, and after you have used your bank balance, you come back to 0-1 again, a pauper. That's what happens to you. So now listen. How do you proceed all through your life, flow of life? Meditate as long, as much, as regularly as you can. Don't overdo. You will ruin yourself, you may go insane, your nervous system may revolt. Don't do that. Be within means. Shanai, shanai, slowly and slowly and slowly. Shanai, shanai, uparame, buddhya, dhritigrita. In the 6th chapter, you have learned the process of meditation. Slowly and slowly, but determinedly and steadily. You kindly, slowly and slowly withdraw your outgoing tendency into ingoing tendency. God is in me, I am in. Now the concept is, I'm in this world. And I know the world is godless. But it is not true. God is everywhere. I have not educated myself to see and interact with awareness of presence of God every moment of my life. I have not done so. That is why the world seems to be godless to me. But the axiomatic truth is, there is not a speck of space, not a dot of time, iota of time, where God is not. Omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient. That is what God is. So, what have I to do? While I am in this world, I re-educate myself in such a manner that awareness of presence of the divine in my so-called dhyana yoga time, orthodox meditative time, that awareness of presence of the divine at that time carries on in my day-to-day life's fulfillment of my duties. So what is happening? Your personality, your being, your chitta, the storehouse of all your karma, is now slowly and slowly, drop by drop, is being filled up with the awareness of presence of the divine. Let me give you an example and you will understand. Say, for instance, I give you here, keep a bowl here, full of so many things. And I tell you, here is your assignment. What is your assignment? Don't touch the bowl. Fill it up with something that you can without touching the bowl, and let the bowl be full to the brim with one item, one material, one matter, one substance. You are a student of chemistry. You know mercury is the heaviest of all metals and minerals. Its specific gravity is the heaviest. Everything will float on mercury because mercury is the heaviest. So you can go and get some mercury and you start pouring. The mercury settles down at the bottom of the pot. Mercury settles down at the bottom of the pot. The space that mercury occupies, that space has to be given by spilling over the other material, which spills over and falls down. You keep on pouring mercury. And ultimately what happens? All the dirt and dross has been thrown out, and there's a beautiful convex surface tension of mercury on the pot. Without touching, you have done it. Now, awareness of presence of the divine is nothing else but consciously repeating your mantra. You are consciously repeating the mantra. The main theme of constant repetition is you are constantly aware of the divine in you. Compare that memory of the divine, remembrance of the divine within you with that mercury. It goes to the bottom of your being and fills you up from the bottom, and all dirt and dross which is lighter in weight is thrown out. Only it takes a little time. Slowly and slowly and slowly. I repeat my mantra and I say, my Ishtadevi is in me. You are slowly and slowly filling up your cup of heart, Antakarana, with the awareness of presence of the Divine. So what is happening? You are now told to be aware of the presence of the Divine in your day-to-day flow of life. How do you go about it? You say, my life, which was flowing over the concept of duty and the motivation of fulfillment of my desire, I have now only one desire, to be one with my God. Therefore, I have now learned the trick of the trade. I will saturate myself with the awareness of presence of the Divine by constantly making myself aware of the presence of the Divine. My work is now automatically converted into an offering to the Divine. In the 9th chapter of the Gita, you will read, Yat karoshi yadashnashi, yat juhashi dadashi jat, yat tapasyashi kaunteya, tat kurusha mad arpanam kurusha. Whatever you have to do by a sense of duty, jat karoshi, jat ashnashi, whatever you have to absorb, the grossest of the gross food and subtlest of the subtle idea. That is the range of absorption. Yat karoshi, jat ashnashi, whatever you absorb. Jat juhashi, whatever you give by way of offering. Philanthropic, charitable, religious. Whatever it is. Jat juhashi dadashi jat, whatever you give by way of charity. Jat tapasyashi kaunteya, hey Kuntiputra Arjuna, whatever effort you are doing to convert your life into an endless interaction with the awareness of the presence of the Divine, that effortfulness of yours, dedicated to me. Tat kurusha, continue with your flow of life. Mad arpanam kurusha. Do it by offering to me. Don't forget me. Don't forget me. So from the 3rd to the 10th shloka, my dears, Sri Krishna, pardon me, Maharishi Angirasha is telling you how to look at this world according to the prevalent traditions of that bygone age. He says, look at it from this point of view, which is really very unrealistic today. But when I will tell you what is behind it, it will be very easy to you. So let us read the 3rd shloka, the first of the remaining 7 shlokas. They all teach you how to interact with the awareness of presence of the Divine in the flow of your life apart from your orthodox meditative time, which you cannot do 24 hours, 7 days a week. So that period of time when your life flows in the world, how do you make it flow? So that there's no contradiction, no conflict between your so-called worldly life and your spiritual life. Your life becomes a spiritual journey from today till you reach your goal. It's one journey. No conflict, no contradiction. It is coalescing the two by developing that beautiful attitude of seeing God, to be aware of presence of God every moment of your life. Now let us start. Etasmad jayate pranaha manaha sarva indriyani cha. The third shloka, 25th. Kham vayu jyotirapah prithivi vishwasya dharini etasmat jayate. Etasmat means from this. From what? The matter that I discussed with you in the previous shloka. That is what Maharishi Angirisha is telling you. That is the second shloka. Dibya hi amurta purusha sabhajyabhyantara aja aprana mana shubhra aksharat parata para. We have spent a lot of time and have tried to understand it. Now he says, etasmat jayate. Etasmat means from this. From what? The subject matter of the previous shloka. Aksharat parata paraha etasmat jayate. It has come out of, it has manifested itself from that absolute. So, the link between your dhyana yoga and your karma yoga, the link is now being established, which Swami Vivekananda, modern age, has converted into the concept of karma yoga. Dhyana yoga, that dhyana continues. The process of continuing thinking, of awareness of the presence of God continues, whether you are in a so-called orthodox meditative position or you are living your life in the world. The meditative process continues, only it has two different forms. One is a constant offering to the divine, and the other is the process of divinizing yourself. Etasmat jayate. From that absolute, all this that you know about the world, this cosmos, this universe, it has come out of that. And as I've told you before, in the Chandogya Upanishad, this subject matter has been very elaborately threshed out. I'd love to share with you what it has said. The teacher, let me deviate a little because it's the same subject matter. The teacher is teaching the student, etasmat aksharat et jayate. Etasmat paratah parat aksharat jayate. From that, the absolute, this universal infinite diversity has manifested itself. Let us first take the Mundaka Upanishad. He has said one example. What is that? A blazing fire of millions and millions of sparks. Each spark is compartmented by time and the space it occupies. That's why it is different. But qualitatively, essentially, it is the fire. The fire has become spark. Fire is one, sparks are infinite in number. Then he has said, this is from the second chapter, Sudiptat Pavakat. Prior to that, what he has said, Urnanabhi, a spider, the earth where house go up and go down, come up and go down, and Purushat ki Shulomani, hairs coming out from human body, nails coming out from human body. He has given you all those examples. From that absolute, this has come, all these are examples. Chandogya Upanishad is another type of example. And it's better we widen our understanding. The teacher tells him, from this, all that has happened. And all this is different and diverse because name, form, qualities, and utilitarian value of those things in the society are different. That is why it is different. Basically, it is the same. The poor student like me doesn't understand. The teacher takes him by his hand and leads him to an earthenware shop. In India, earthenware is over. That was being used. Even my lifetime, I have seen earthenwares being used. There was no metal in the kitchen, all earthenwares and stone. So, he goes to an earthenware shop factory and he sees on the shelves hundreds of different earthenwares are placed. And he asks his student, what is that? That is ghatam. That's a pitcher. What is that? That is a plate. What is that? That is a water pot. What is that? That is a jug. Oh, you see all that diversity, my child? Yes, sir, they are all diverse. Get me a stick, a hard stick, because they are all terracotta, boiled earth, heated earth, baked earth. Now, do me a favor. Use your stick and break all of them. He does so. What is remaining? Where is your pot? Where is your plate? Where is your jug? Where is this? Where is that? Sir, they don't exist anymore. What does exist? Pieces of clay of which it is made. The material cause. So he says, now listen to me. This is from the Upanishads. Bacharambhano vikara namadeyam. Following your words and your worldly descriptions, you have given 1,000 different names for your convenience of usage and utilitarian values. The ultimate reality is they are all made of clay, and you have destroyed the name and form, clay remains. Similarly, you get rid of the name and form, and eternal existence and awareness remains. Tasmat jayate, tasmin liyate, tat jalam shanta upashat. Tasmat jayate, it comes out of that. Tasmin liyate, it was built out of a pot of soft clay, and then it was baked, and then it was used as a pot or a plate or a jug or a cup or a mug. Names are different, sizes and shapes are different, nama, rupa, and utilitarian values are different. But when you take away the name, take away the form, it is no more useful. What remains? Clay remains. Clay is eternal compared to all these utensils. This is what this Upanishad is telling you. He says, Etasmat jayate. It comes out of that. How does it come out of that? He has given you many examples. Started with Urunanabhi, then Prithibhyam Oshadaya Sambhavanti, you have read that. Then you have Purushat Kesha Lobani, you have read that. And then you have read Sudiptat Pavakat Vishwalinga. This Upanishad has given you 4 distinct examples from where it comes out and to where it goes back. And I gave you just now the example from Chandogya Upanishad. So you should now understand what it means. That is, the chair is. I am aware the existence of the chair. Or I am aware something is. Awareness of isness is inseparable. It is a chair. It is a well-cushioned chair. It is red in color. It is very comfortable to sit in. Oh, it's a nice thing. All this follows after what? After you have asserted the existence and you are aware of its existence. Then it follows. The flood tide opens up thereafter. The first is it is. Etasmat jayate means that isness of the divine, the isness of the absolute is everywhere. You educate yourself to be aware of that presence, of that isness, every moment of your life. You are no more in contradiction with your spiritual life and your day-to-day flow of life. You have coalesced them, you have harmonized them, and you sing only one tune, oneness with the divine. There's no diversity. The diversity is only in appearance, not in reality. So, dears, this is how we will study the next 7 shlokas. All that he would say is a parable, an incident, a simile, or whatever you may call a metaphor, which was very much common and prevalent in those days. All that we have to do is, the idea is eternal. The contrasts and comparisons are changing with the changing society. We will look at it from the modern day society and we will understand this whole cosmos is nothing else but the manifestation of the divine. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much. We again start on the 3rd shloka, because these 2 shlokas are extremely important. If we do not hold on to the basic ideas of these 2 shlokas, further study will be a bit confusing and difficult. Thank you, dears. Thank you ever so much.
Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.